Hi, my name is Leah Leonardson. I was born Leah Passy. I was born in Fatima, Laventel, Desperados. I'm a Desperados woman. I'm here to talk to you about a book I published here in America, in Indiana. And I'm hoping that it will help people in the Caribbean, people in Trinidad and Tobago, and people in the Caribbean, or wherever people need help, and hopefully they will not make some of the mistake I made in publishing with Vanity Press. Me doing this video is not for anyone to go out and buy this book. This book is a slave. It's slaving because I do not collect royalties on this. So far, all I've collected in 20 years is 60 cents. And I know about slavery. You know, my father, mother came to Trinidad as a slave, indented laborer from India. So I know what slavery is. And this book is a slave here in America. So I'll be back. As I say, this book is not for you to, I'm not doing this for you to go out and buy this book. Do not do that, please. But just to talk a little bit about myself, I went to school in Laventel RC from the time I was 5 years old. So I did my first communion and everything there. And then when my mother was going to live in England at the time, you know, at the time in the 50s, everybody was running to England. She took me to live in Belmont. So I continued my education at Belmont Methodist. I lived on board with the Highlands then, the great athletes from the two Highland brothers who lived in, who were from Belmont. And from there, I started writing from that age about my diary. I used to write before, but not my diary. From there, I wrote my diary. Then, as I grew older, my friends, because I had so many old lady friends, they encouraged me. They always said, they found, well, my story, but I don't know what they were thinking. You know, when you're a young woman then, you know, back then, every woman is a child's mother. That's how it went then. Every woman was a child's mother. It doesn't, you had to listen to all the elderly people. So anyway, the old ladies, they always said, you know, and watching my life as I grew up into a woman, said, Leah, write your story, write your story. But I remember as a child, my daddy, when he saw me with a piece of paper, he would be sad. He never told me why he'd be sad, or he never made a fuss. My father was a man of few words, and he didn't scold me right. I was like his, maybe I'll say I was a spoiled child, but he didn't say much, you know, but you could see the difference. You could tell the difference come over him. He'd be sewing at his machine, and I'll be there at his feet, you know, and with my paper, and he would be very deeply concerned. But as the years passed, the old ladies the elderly ladies keep singing the same song, so they more or less, they knew I like writing, so maybe that's why they told me to write my story. Okay, this is just to show the two different copyrights of my work. This one here is Squatter. This was done November 1798. You see the signature of the person, that's the red is the original pen. It is saying it's an autobiography. It is saying that I'm Trinidadian. It is saying I was born in 1945. And it is saying here that in Lexington Avenue. I was born in 1945 BW, British West Indies. This is an original copy of my screenplay, Walking. It was a story about dogs and a love affair. A little bit of drama in it. You can see this was a screenplay. Yes, I'm a Trinidadian. Yes, it's fiction. So, and it was there in 96. It was by the same lady who did Squatter, who signed it. And I was at 15 Lexington. This was just 120 pages, the typical screenplay that I wanted to try my hands at and get off from Squatter a little bit. As I said, I was in the Writers Union when I joined, before I joined Author House, and they did send me a lot of agents. It's like a needle in a haystack, but I wrote as many as I can. No one responded. I'm not blaming the union for this. I choose to go Vanity Press, but I would say, and I would say it repeatedly, get a lawyer before you do any kind of business like that. If you're going to publish, I would say that. I'm not regretful that I didn't get an agent either, because I don't think that would have been any better. But I prefer to work with a lawyer than that, and I will not blame the union for what happened either. I don't see anything wrong with the contract except that the top isn't signed, but Timothy Jacob and I signed the bottom. It's just that the date didn't mark in on the top. But had I had a lawyer, he would have made sure, the date and everything go up and down. But the date is below, so that doesn't matter. All the party concerned is at the bottom, but the lawyer would have stressed that out to make sure top and bottom. Well, the date is not below anyway. This here is what is stated as, this is known as a contract. Okay, you will see here that no date was signed in there at the top, which is not really important to me. But this here is the contract, refers to as a contract. You move down the line, this is the signature there, right down the line, same form. Okay, here is where it says that it will waive all future monthly maintenance until the author receives her $299 back. This is on ebook, and after that I will pay 40% of whatever was sale there was. You come down the line from that, start over. You just come down the line of that. There's where we all signed this contract. That's my name, Squatter. That's even my CompuServe address at the time. That's Timothy Jacob. That's 1515 Lexington Avenue. This is the date on it, right there. So the point here is that when they send me money to pay $20 a month for maintenance, it doesn't hold up until I make back this money. So far, in 20 years, from 1999, 98 to now, 1998 to now, to 1800, I have only gotten 60 cents. Now, what happened to that waiver? What happened to that waiver? I want to know. Other house don't even respect their own ink. The agreement on ebook still stands, which says the author get back 100% from the money that was paid there, which was $333.80. So I was supposed to get back that $300, 40% after that, and then you're going to go and start to do maintenance. I did pay 6 months maintenance, which was $10 each for previously, and I'm not supposed to pay maintenance until I get back $300. So that stayed, even though I did go into book on demand. That is separate. It's two separate production of the same book. This here is the final submission form for ebooks quarter. To this, it was with Microsoft Word process, Microsoft Word. Then there's it's an autobiography. I paid into the 6 months advance. The total cost of this was $320 $33.80. This is the ebook, 1998. That's my signature there. I'm an author, yes, but I don't consider myself a writer. But I wrote my biography. My biography for me is a great accomplishment. And when you write a biography, and in my case, it took more than 20 years. Meanwhile, I had three children while I was doing this, and also hustling to put food on the table as a single parent. I wasn't married then with my kids. And having done that, I consider what I did in writing my biography better than what a contractor would do when he take a contract to build a house, meaning that he make a contract for X, Y, and Z amount of money and accomplish the work. Some of them run off with your money. I didn't do that. I didn't run off with my time or procrastinate and all these sorts of stuff. I devoted time, money, energy, and love into writing my book. My husband, when I got married and we worked on the sea, when he couldn't find me, he used to come looking for me because we had separate cabin. We could sleep in any, because I'm a worker on board. I'm not a wife on board. I'm a worker on board and I am married on board. Yes, but we had separate cabin. When I get fed up with him, I go in my cabin and write in, and he will come looking for me, nowhere to find me. My writing stayed in my life longer than my husband. So I was married to my work, and I spend money on my work writing my biography. And what Author House has done, I will not rest on them. They have to give me back my money. Once I got to New York, I invested money in learning about writers' rights. I went to the bookstore, Barnes and Noble, and they have a very thick book that come out once a year for writers' rights. And I used to buy that. I bought it for years. At the time, you came in my apartment, you looked like if I was just buying these things. So yes, I know my rights as a writer. I didn't need one of Author House jerk off, left wing or right wing, I don't know which one, calling me to tell me, well, it's my rights to do this and that. I know my rights. I learned my rights before I copyrighted. That's how I was managed to know to copyright. I would like to tell the people of the world that Author House, to me, is high educated lawyers. They're not just scam artists, they're sophisticated criminals. In short, why I'm saying this, I want to explain this. There are a few quarterly reports that say this is due to the author, that is due to the author. I do not have an attorney. I do not know the law. I do not know how to explain myself too well, so I'm trying this. So if you hear me say that the author gets $38 or $4, I didn't get it. They're just stating due to the author. But I never received anything from 1998 to 2018 of this September month from Author House, but 60 cents. So please don't misinterpret this. This is how it goes. They're saying due to the author gets this, due to the author, but the author never got it. Please. Part of what I cannot believe is that Author House, this global company, do not have a better accountant administration, because you cannot be that global as you're saying you're global and cannot show people what they're doing with our money because you're global. You're supposed to have better accountanship than that. If you can't do it yourself, you could pay for it. It's what's being done today. Big companies usually hire accountants, or they have great accountant software. Either way, you must have the software today and everything pops up. But what Author House sent me is worse than a jigsaw puzzle. And that, baby, I've been working on since I was creeping, was puzzles. This here is the envelope that came from Author House in 1998 with their publishing plan with all the knickknacks in here, um, showing what they had to offer. One of the reasons for me doing this video, even though I was in the writers union and the agents didn't respond, is for young writers to remember, get a lawyer when you're going to do a book, especially if you're doing it out of the state you're living in. I don't know if Author House changed from first book to Author House to start robbing people. Was one of the envelopes that they used to send out before when I first joined them. It's battered. But what's interested in here is this. When they first said, even though the contract is saying that what it says, this is first book. Also, prompting, when they're prompting you on to go with them, this is one of it, that they would also waive the maintenance fee until you get this money back. All right, I just wanted to show it. I keep a lot of little things that they sent. Before I met or was with First Book, Ibis House was the first letter I get concerning publishing. It came like out of the blues, from nowhere it came, and I answered them, and they answered me, and then suddenly the next letter came from First Book. So it was Ibis House who contacted me first, and then came First Books. That's how I came in contact with First Book back in 1998. I can't pay for a lawyer. I don't have the money to pay for a lawyer, but what I have is a great cell phone, the cell phone that I am making this video with. And I knew nothing about it, so I had to train myself how to make a home movie off of I have all the software on my phone. So I did that. I practiced for about a month and a half. And then, the YouTube gurus helped me along. You could go on YouTube and learn anything these days. So the gurus from YouTube, thanks to them, they helped me. I went on and learned how to do this stuff. And it keeps me up. 5, 6, 7, 9 o'clock in the morning, I go to bed. So I was forced to learn how to make a DVD movie. So whatever you call it, I learned how to do it. So thanks again to the YouTube gurus. As I said, yes, I did like First Book when I first joined them with my ebook. Yes, I certainly liked it. I felt good and relief at the time. I wasn't deep into American culture so much then, but I already had 10 years in the country or so at the time, of course, but I still liked them then. But they grow to be, monsters, so I can't deal with that.